Hello, 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 folks. It's Ty Goodwin, and we are still thrilled with all the responses that we're seeing from people that are participating in the challenge that we're doing, the Fix My Funnel Challenge. And during this morning session, I said I was going to come back on and I was going to talk about how I grew my email list. I'm not sure if you all are seeing me. I got a black screen. So let me just do a quick check to see if you can actually see me. It's kind of weird to have a black screen. Let's see what's going on. Uh, does not look like you can see me, right? So I might have to come back out and come back on. Let's see. It's 100% black, and I don't know why. Oh, let me come out. Let me. Oh, you do. Oh, so you do see me. That is so weird. It looks totally black on my screen. Okay, well, I can't see me, so I'm gonna keep going. So listen, I said I was gonna come back on and I was gonna talk about what I did to grow my email list with a quiz because we were talking about, funnels this morning. Ryan did a fantastic job. If you haven't watched the training from this morning, make sure you bookmark it and go back and take a look at it. There's a handout in the email that we sent out if you're registered for the challenge. Listen, if you're not registered, there's still time for you to get in on this. So you can use the link. I'll make sure it's in the comments, or you can just go ahead and search, but you can find that link. But here's the deal. I grew my list. Last year, I was so sad and miserable because I had about 1,700 people on my little email list. And I'm like, this isn't working, right? I know that I need to have more people on my list if I'm trying to make more sales with these products and programs. Now, some of you might be saying, I wish I had 1,700 people on my list. But like I teach in my webinar, it really is a numbers game. And so for some of you that don't know, I'm going to just drop a couple of numbers for you so that it kind of, paints that picture, right? So listen, if you're watching this, I see you, Alice. I see Cutie Pie. If you're watching this, come on in and say hello. Give me a thumbs up, some love. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching this during the replay, just use hashtag replay, right? But I did promise, like I said, I was going to come on and I was going to talk about what I did to grow my email list. So I wanted to pop in and make sure that I kept my end of the deal. So like I was saying, I had about 1,700 people on my email list, and some folks are like, oh, that's great. I wish I had that. But when you take a look at the numbers, it's not so great. So Zane says, is your quiz from Ryan Levesque? Okay, so no. And here's the deal, Zane. I actually put my first quiz together back in 2013. Now, it wasn't an online quiz at the time, it was a paper based quiz. And people would download the paper based quiz, and then we would hop on a call and I would talk them through and they would book me, as a client. So that's how it started. But when I came back, after working at Lead Pages, I worked there for about 2.5 years. And while I was there, I was not able to actually have clients because of the contract that I signed in working with them. And so I walked away from that job and I did not have another job lined up. Not only that, but I didn't even have a business. Like I didn't have anything. And so I was like literally like I need to pull something together. And so I went back to that quiz, the paper-based quiz, and I turned it into an online quiz. Now, I had a list of people. I had about 2,500 people that were sitting in an Excel spreadsheet, but I hadn't talked to them in like 2.5 years. So I knew I needed to warm them up. Now, I was like, okay, well, let me create this quiz. And so I put everything in that quiz that was into the online quiz that was in the paper-based quiz, and I sent it out to that 2,500 people. So within 2 weeks, I had 500 people that opted back into my list from that quiz. So I knew I was on to something. I just needed to figure out how to get it in front of more people. All right, so I'm going to tell you what I did in a minute. Let me see if you got some comments or some questions. Go ahead and put them down, in the chat, Zane. So I don't use that program anymore. I use a couple of other tools that I like much better. So if you're ever looking or thinking about switching to a better tool, let me know. And I will say that I was there at that company when they were just rolling out their newer builder. And I actually trained about 85% of their tech support people at the time and designed a whole training program for their new builder. So I know that platform very, very well. And I use something else. You can send me your PM if you want me to tell you what it is, or actually you can find it in the client in the comments. So Cutie Pie said, "Well, quizzes work for low ticket offers." So listen, it can. The trick with that is about volume. So one of our clients, I was just working on something for her. She sells eyelashes. All right, Doc McDiva, giving you a shout out to my cousin, Doc McDiva Goodwin. Okay, and she sells, eyelashes, and the eyelashes are anywhere from $40, for one pair, up to $82 if you're doing like a lash kit or something like that. So under $100, and we've had over 2,700 people take that quiz so far. And do people buy from taking the quiz? Yes. Are they nurtured from taking the quiz? Yes. So it's about volume and it's about how much money you're spending to drive traffic to that quiz. And it also depends on how well you know your audience, right? What are you doing with it? So, yes, quizzes can work for low ticket offers. They work for a lot of e commerce brands because it allows you to get volume, right? When you have the right quiz, and people are taking it and they're giving you their name and their email address, and then you're following up with like a 15%, 20% coupon. Like there's all different kind of things that we do for folks that are using an online quiz to build their list for an e-commerce brand. So yes, it can work. So back to my story, because I know I left you all hanging, right? So I just needed to get that quiz into more eyes. For those of you who are just joining this conversation, I know I was sharing that I did have a list. I had about 2,500 names from an old email list. I created an online quiz, and in the first 2 weeks, I got about 500 people from that old dusty list that I hadn't talked to 2.5 years that opted back into my email list, but I needed more, right? And I still hadn't really caught on yet. It wasn't until May where I started driving traffic to my quiz with a Facebook ad that things started taking off. So May 31st is when we actually rolled out an ad for the quiz. Which type of entrepreneur are you? And within 4 months, I had 12,000 people on my email list. I can put a screenshot in the comments and I can show you. And we've been building our list like that ever since, right? So 12,000 people on our email list in 4 months with one quiz and with one Facebook ad. Now, if you're hanging around in the challenge, we're going to be talking about traffic and all that stuff on Friday. You don't just always have to do a Facebook ad, but I promise you this is one of the fastest ways to get in front of new audiences. And that's the challenge that I see with a lot of folks. You could have an amazing opt-in offer, which we're going to talk about Thursday. I've got a whole thing planned. I'm going to talk about how do you create an outstanding opt-in offer, even, how you can use quizzes to, generate leads for your business, right? But if you don't know how to drive traffic to it or have a plan to drive traffic to it, you're sunk, because you have to get it in front of new people. Listen, you can't keep sending it to those same 30 people on Facebook that are liking your post. Right? You have to have a way to get in front of new people. I said it this morning and I'll say it again. The biggest challenge that a lot of my clients have is not their pricing, it's not their product. They really struggle with distribution. How can they get in front of more people? And that's what we do with our our landing pages, with our sales funnels. It's all about getting us in front of more people so we can increase our impact and increase our income. And that's one of the reasons why we are doing this challenge. So when that happened with the quiz, I started building quizzes for other people. And so now we are a full-fledged, agency where we are building quiz funnels for our clients. And not only that, but we are doing the traffic generation to get people into the quiz. And then we're also offering that email copy and that email content after they take the quiz so that you can continue to nurture those people from interested to I'm in. So that's what we do with at the Momentum Agency. We're all about creating content and marketing automation so that you can really do it on autopilot. That was the one thing I love about using a quiz or having an automated system. When I was doing this for my coaching business, every single week I was getting people added to my calendar every single week. Okay, every single week, and it was on autopilot. We set up the ad, we let it run, and every single week I was waking up to book, people that were booking calls. And it got to the point where I was having so many people book calls that I had to slow it down and add a webinar because I needed to qualify people. Remember, we talked about that yesterday about the difference between leads and prospects. I had a whole lot of leads, but I needed to qualify them, and I did that with a webinar. right? Because I wanted people who were at a certain place. If you were just taking a quiz because it was fun, that's fine. But what I really wanted were people who were willing to take the next step and then do the webinar. And we saw our, not just our list grew, but that's when I started hitting my 5-figure months every single month. Why? Because I had a big enough audience, a big enough pool of people that I was able to reach out to and pull in. So my calendar was booked. Listen, I promise you, if you keep marketing to those same 30 or 40 people and you realize that they're not your audience, you have got to find another way to get in front of your audience. Now, quizzes are great. That's what we do. We also help people with those other kind of lead magnets like your PDFs and your webinars and those kind of things. But quizzes are interactive. They are where it's at, and people love getting insight and information about themselves. And that's what a quiz does. Okay, so I promised I would come back on and share that. So I wanted to get that story to you. We use an online quiz to grow our email list. We still use online quizzes. We create online quizzes for our clients. We have a done for you and a done with you. And we even have a do it yourself. We have a whole course that we do that for. So we can talk about quizzes. If you've got questions, put them in the comments, and I'm glad to answer those questions for you. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, where we're going to map out more of the elements in your sales funnel. I'm going to show you step by step by step. I'll even show you what a quiz funnel looks like, so you can see step by step by step how we were able to use that to then drive, to drive traffic to it, to get leads, and to convert those leads into paying clients for our business. All right, it's been so much fun hanging out with you. Tag somebody, put use hashtag replay in the comments. Keep the questions coming in. We are loving the engagement and activity. And until next time, you already know, be brilliant, be bankable, and show up like a boss in your business. Bye.